a couple of minutes before we get started. And, this has been something that you've been working toward for a while now. And I feel as if this is an old show with new beginnings, because this is not your first rodeo, but we got everything that's brand new. You worked hard to get here. Me and my team, we worked hard to get you here.
You have worked hard.
And I think we got everything under control. And I'm really, really excited for what's about to happen for you. And for the people that you've impacted, right? To get more of your story out on that professional level, because a lot of times that professional level is draws a bigger audience, shows how serious you are, and gives it legs to open up new opportunities as well. So I'm totally excited. So for those that are just joining in, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. We are a couple of minutes away. For those that are finding out that I don't have the nice Australian accent, that's because I'm not in Australia, right? I am right now in Houston, Texas.
Ground control is in Houston.
Right. And there's no problems. It's like Houston, there is no problems. We have nothing but good news here, right? So happy to be a part of it. Before we get started, how you feeling?
I am excited. I'm really excited about birthing this baby, I guess. I'm feeling a bit like an elephant with it, that it's taken this amount of time. It's not just 9 months. It's been more like a couple of years, but here we are.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 9:30 right now on the dot, and there's no guidelines here. There is no blueprint on what we're doing. We're just making announcements, and today is a very great day. And so, speaking of today, why did you pick today for your launch?
Well, I had been working on the show for some time, getting it ready to go, and then it was like, you know what, let's do this properly. Let's have an astrologer find the day for me.
Right.
And today is the day that she said, and it was sounds perfect to me. Let's go with it and get the show out into the world to share the message that I've been trying to share for 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. It's amazing.
This is a 10-year-old show with brand new beginnings. That I want you to understand how special that is, a 10-year-old show. So conceptually, how long did you have the concept before you started the show? Because it's not like you get the idea and then the show starts the next day like dun, 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 dun,
no, well,
right?
that's right, because it's 10 years later. It's like I started with Chocolate and Coffee Day for Religious Harmony, which I've searched back through Facebook and found that the first time I mentioned that was the 30th of November, 2015. So we're right on the point of it being 10 years since the whole concept of chocolate and coffee to break down barriers evolved.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do, for those that are just tuning in, we're just getting started, and I'm going to play a video that I think really embraces the thought process of what you were building with this whole project. So we're going to play this video, and we're going to be right back.
In a world that grows louder with division, here's a different frequency: love, compassion, and courageous connection. Welcome to Chocolate and Coffee Break, a compassionate proposition where stories brew, hearts open, and understanding grows. Each episode invites real, unscripted conversation over a chocolate and coffee break. We encourage our listeners to slow down, listen deeper, disarm, and truly connect. That's how walls fall, hearts open, and hope rises. Here's your invitation to join a movement and let love be the loudest voice. We turn conversations into a ripple effect, spotlighting diverse perspectives and moving from story to action in our communities. I'm Andrea Putting, your host, speaker, author, and compassion curator. Through Chocolate and Coffee Day for Religious Harmony, the Social Mission podcast, and books such as Quiet Power, Lasting Impact, Compassionate Purpose, Compassionate Prosperity, Brewing Compassion, and Moment of Infinity, my work has always centered on one thing: bringing people together through understanding and love. So I invite you to be part of our movement. Get the free Brewing Compassion Guide and start hosting meaningful breaks that bridge divides at home, at work, anywhere. Support or sponsor the movement to help us produce episodes, host events, and reach more hearts. Share your story, because your experience may be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Why you? Because a simple coffee break can reduce the noise of life, expand perspective, and remind us of our shared humanity. One conversation can change a day or a life. Take your break with us today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, explore the books and resources, and if you have a story to share, your seat is waiting. It starts with one heart, one voice, one act of compassion. Let love be the loudest voice.
Boom. That was done excellent. Very excellent.
It was done excellent, wasn't it, Nolan?
It
Thank
was.
you. Thank you for your brilliant work in putting that together.
Oh no, I'm just messing. That was supposed to be an inside joke. I was gonna let that ride.
No, I'm just happy to share it.
Well,
Happy to share your brilliance.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So you said one heart. What did you say at the end? One heart. What was
One
it?
story.
One story, right? How did you get so much into stories, right? To where the stories that you wanted to share, you felt like would change the world.
Yeah. Story is, well, it's about listening to other people's story. I just really believe that personally, when I sit and listen to somebody else's story and I start to understand who they are, then something clicks in our brain. It's like, well, maybe it's someone that I didn't know, didn't understand, or maybe even somebody I didn't like.
Mm,
And I start to listen to their story, and it just changes perspective. And it
mm,
opens up that opportunity to see someone. You see someone in a new light. We walk in their shoes, and just doing that really can break down barriers in division and community. And that is a scientifically proven fact
mm,
that when you sit and listen to someone for just 1 hour, tolerances can dissolve, not just to that one person, but to their whole social group. So it's a really powerful thing for us to be doing, is to just take that time, sit and listen, open up with an open mind. Listen to people with an open mind, and you never know what you're gonna discover.
right, right.
Yeah.
So, what is the deal with chocolate? I don't know if you see this. Chocolate makes everything better. So I felt like this was appropriate. So cheers to the launch. But what is it about chocolate and coffee that you just like? Let's take a break, have some chocolate and coffee, and let's change the world. Is chocolate really that good to you? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Well, oh yeah. When I pick up chocolate, I've got to smell it and just goes whoosh.
Right,
Uh,
right.
But it did all start with something else. It started with a tragic event that happened in Australia, which happened 11 years ago in December. A gunman who was a Muslim stormed a chocolate cafe and took everyone hostage, claimed to be doing it in the name of Allah.
Mm.
And it was a chocolate and coffee cafe, which is where the chocolate and coffee came to in the first place. So then, tragically, 2 innocent people and the gunman were killed that's how it concluded.
Mm.
And there was fear there'd be retaliation against the Muslim community. They were petrified. They were taking off their religious garb. They were staying home, locking themselves up because they didn't know how people were going to respond. Because
Right.
it was in that time, still after 9/11, where Muslims were being attacked
Yeah.
in some way. And so what happened, instead of there being retaliation against the Muslim community, there was this outpouring of peace and love and acceptance. There was a hashtag I will ride with you flooded social media, offering to ride public transport with Muslims to keep them safe.
Mm.
And so that was just a moment that really hit me. It really hit home with me. It was like, well, why aren't we speaking up all the time? Why aren't we saying to the world that we accept people for who they are in our community?
Right.
And so it was 12 months later that I started Chocolate and Coffee Day for Religious Harmony, just encouraging people, reach out to someone who's different to you and share chocolate and coffee and just listen to their stories. So, and it was about not being the silent majority anymore. It was like, let's say something. Let's be that who we are without hiding it, because that's what we're doing most of the time. We're just keeping quiet. Oh, it's fine. We sit in front of our TV. Oh, that's terrible. Why aren't we saying something about it? So that's where it whole evolved. And of course, we don't want to just have chocolate and coffee once a year. It's something that has that value to be able to do any time of year. Now, saying all that, there is great value in this, in that sitting down over a cuppa is something that transcends all cultures, all religions, and it just has that kind of comfort zone. We'll just sit and, sit with your cuppa, and it's comfortable. So it kind of breaks down that barrier to start with. And chocolate has all those feel-good endorphins that they do. They
Right.
can open you up to the
Right.
person that you're speaking to. And during all the COVID lockdowns, I was saying that chocolate is the hug you give when you're social distancing.
The hug you give
Because,
yourself.
yeah, it is like a hug. It offers that kind of feeling. So the combination is a comfortable situation where people they feel comforted and able to open up more. So it's a good kind of ritual to allow that storytelling, story sharing to begin.
Well, here's the thing. So you say it's not something that you have once a year. We literally want people that can hear us, see us, and watch us right now to think about having it once a week, because
Oh,
we're
yeah.
releasing the show once a week,
Mhm.
every week. And we actually have the trailer for this week. So right now we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. We're also on YouTube, and I'm going to play a little snippet in the trailer. Do you want to give us any background on this trailer for Warren Tate before we get started?
Yes. Warren is a friend of mine, and he's a communication expert. And, when you're doing your first episode, you want it to be nice and comfortable. The person that you're talking to, what they're going to say, how they're going
Right.
to say it. Yeah, and also Warren did the voiceover for the beginning of the show, so that's fabulous. And so, and we talked about how to start your conversation, because he's really good with presence, being present with people. So I wanted people to think about that and how they're going to start a conversation with someone and how they can be more present in while they're having their chocolate and coffee break.
All right. So on this launch, you're about to get a sneak peek. Now, if you want to watch the whole episode, it's absolutely on this website. If you go to the blog part of the website, you can literally read the notes and some of the information and watch the video. But here's the trailer for you right now.
Welcome to Chocolate and Coffee Break. I hope you've got your chocolate and your coffee and you're ready to start and listen to this show, because today I have a special guest who will help us to understand how we can make the most out of our chocolate and coffee break. So I'd like to introduce you to Warren Tate. He's a professional speaker, international bestseller, author, and expert in communication. For chocolate and coffee break, it's really important that we know how to sit and listen and have a conversation with people. So Warren, where do we start? Where do we start when we're meeting somebody to have our chocolate and coffee break?
Well, I think the most important part is that it's not about you. So most
It's not?
No, but sorry to offend you if, well, in this relationship it is about you, but when you're trying to meet somebody, build rapport, get to know them, a lot of people tend to talk about themselves because that is, let's be honest, quite often our favorite topic is ourselves. But it's when you really start to get curious about the other person, to find out a little bit more about them, ask them better questions. Most of us like to talk about things that we enjoy doing. You know, you might have a passion for something. So it could be as simple as, you know, what's exciting you at the moment? What projects have you got on the go? So if people walk away from the conversation thinking, I really enjoy that conversation, quite often it is them talking about themselves only because you've asked really interesting questions and you've been curious to find out more about them.
But one of the things that I find is really important in a lot of the stuff that I do is that being present with people. And I have seen you be so present with people in a crowded room, but somebody comes and talks to you and you are completely present with them. So how do people tap into being completely present with somebody?
It's when you show that curiosity, that interest, and repeat back and you're listening to understand and not listening to respond, people really go, okay, yep, this person, they're a really classy person. They are a professional.
So how do you find common ground with somebody you've never met before?
Questions, and more questions is the answer. But I'll actually give you a bit of a formula as well, because sometimes people like to be formulaic and they might get stuck. And again, especially those introverts. The Ford principle, that is FORD.
So I want to share with you his book, I Get You. If you want to grab yourself a copy of that you can go to his website. Warren, share us your website.
It is warrentate.global. Simple as that.
If you've enjoyed the show today, don't forget to subscribe and like, and take someone different, someone new that you don't know to chocolate and coffee and practice some of these ideas that Warren has shared with us. And when you do, take a photo of sharing your chocolate and coffee and send it to me, because I'd love to see them and would love to be able to share those in our Facebook group. So thank you so much for sharing with us today, and we'll see you next time on Chocolate and Coffee Break.
All right. That's some of the things that you talked about.
It was first episode. I'm going, ooh, wait until you see the ones later on, people. They're so much better in many ways. Especially we had my first episode recording I had internet problems, so the visuals aren't as good as what they are every other episode.
And it's not a problem. So I want people to understand that's episode 1. I believe you're on like episode 18 as of right now. So we have a plenty in the can, but I want people to understand one of the biggest shows in the world, which was Seinfeld. If you watch the first episode, it's nothing like the 40th episode, right?
Yeah.
It really got so, and that just shows the work that you put in, the evolution to the craft. It shows how dedicated you are to what you're doing. I mean, that's what it does. It's the only way you can become a better ball player is by playing ball, right? So I want to say cheers to you and cheers to your brand new website, which is chocolate. And if you're watching it right here, right now on the website, which is chocolateandcoffeebreak.com. Cheers to you. I'm going to take a sip of my hot chocolate because it's too late to be drinking coffee. And so my company, we saw a plethora of information on your website. We organized it, streamlined it, and it was amazing the amount of content that you had, right? So I say that to say that I intimately know a lot of the information that's on the website, but there's something for everybody, right? It's a very diverse crowd. How did you get such a diverse list of people to interview, and how did your audience become so diverse?
Oh, good question. I think a lot of it is my interest in people and wanting to me having that craving to want to know more about other people. I have this thing that I've been saying for probably about 10 years is that I went beyond the why. It's not about my why. It's not about, because look at me, I've never experienced prejudice. It's just, so why would I be bothered? But
Right.
it's something that just sits within me that I have to do something about. I have to speak about it. I have to make sure that every person is heard and have their voices heard, because every person is a person of worth. So I don't know. I'm just natural. I guess I'm just naturally drawn to this diversity of people, and that's when I find most fulfillment is by listening to a variety of people, exploring different cultures, exploring different ideas and concepts. And when it all comes together, it's just the more diverse it seems, the more likely I'm going to draw it into me, I think. So,
And what's great from an audience standpoint is that we can all learn from each other, and it makes you feel as if it's the whole world, right? You know, America is a melting pot of different cultures, different people, but even though we're a melting pot, we still have our own circles that we hang around. You being in Australia, for me, it was very surprising to see the people that was on your website just wasn't, punching kangaroos in the face type of thing, right? It was just like some of everybody was on there, right? But I'm curious, what makes a compassionate proposition different from other talk shows and podcasts?
I think what it is that the show is, it's not about entertainment. It's about inspiration. It's about looking at ourselves through a different lens of somebody else, listening to their story, and I hope, people being challenged to look and think a little bit differently. to then act. To one of the things that I will be putting into the show notes and regularly do on the show is to do a brew the change challenge, is to give people something that they can do to reach out to somebody different, to explore their own compassionate purpose, not just sharing chocolate and coffee, but what is it that sparks passion in you? What is it that you can do to help change the world? And I know a lot of people think that they can't change the world,
Mm.
but if they just touch one person's life, they're going to change the world. So let's get that ripple out. So really, it's that passion to make a difference that I'm kind of getting into, that everybody wants to make a difference. They don't know how. Come on here and we'll talk about it.
You know what's really refreshing about what you have? There's two things. One, the everyday rhetoric on social media, this is so different. So for the people that are really tired of everybody talking down to each other and trying to make a point, I have an aunt that she's very political, and it's okay. I don't really mind that she's political. I'm not,
Yep.
right? But everybody has their thing. And so she jumps on people's feeds and she's like, that's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And this, that, and she's just going on and she's tearing, do your research and yada, yada, yada. And I said, you know what I've never seen in 52 years? She's like, what? That you just really start talking down to somebody and somebody says, oh, you know what? That was the dumbest thing I've ever said. Like, I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you. Right?
Yeah.
That never happens. Right.
No.
And so to have these conversations, these heartfelt conversations and telling stories that others can learn from and see a different perspective, I think is very important and definitely needed at this time when we're just as divisive, more so now than ever, not just race, but gender and generations and all of that. And this is really a way to bring all of that and people and humanity together. So I applaud you on that. I definitely applaud you on that.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I hope that it does. I really.
Well, you've been doing it for 10 years. You've been a speaker. You're an author. You've done a lot of different things to literally say that, like, this is not your, even though we just watched the first episode of what season was it? I don't even know what season it is, right? Like, what season is it? But even though we watched the first episode, we're just really refining, right? And it's just about fine tuning as you take your journey in changing the world in your way to inspire others. I really feel that what you're doing is more impactful than just saying, I'm changing the world. Because when you inspire others to find their superpower, find their voice, tell their story to change the world, it's like not just creating followers, but creating leaders to lead with their own hearts. So I think what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal from that standpoint.
Thank you. Thank you. I really hope that people will just take that message of follow your heart, because that's the first chapter in one of my books is called, Follow Your Heart, because that's what I just kept being told. I mean, I just follow my heart. What does that mean? But
Right.
I found it was.
Well, the second part of what I was going to say is you almost gave us a at-home game, right? It's just like when you watch Family Feud, and it's like, buy the home game, family, play it with your family. Like, so now we have the opportunity to take these coffee breaks. We can watch you, tune in, join the audience. So we're going to talk about what that looks like, but now we can also take a break at home. Tell me where that came from.
Well, that's really what I was, the very beginning of it. And I was just, when I started out, it was just, I'm just telling people to reach out and have coffee and chocolate and coffee with somebody. And I'd have people saying, "Oh, I want to come to your event." And I go, "No, I'm not having an event. You invite somebody to sit down and have a conversation." And people started doing it, which was great. But, I still have people come and say, "I want to come to one of your events." So, I do have events from time to time and do plan to have some more happening in the next year. And, but really it's about not just me talking, it's about people getting that experience for themselves. Because if it's just me, we're not really doing anything. The idea is that you people out there
Right. Right.
connect in with somebody and you deal with that. You find who it is that you need to connect with. Because I can tell you a little story, which I think I've only shared once, is that keep knocking my microphone. When I was 14, I had an accident and ended up at hospital, and I didn't like the doctor. He went in a direction that I still question. It's like, and I ended up having a prejudice against Indian men. I
Mm,
recognized that some years later. It's like, I don't like Indian men. Oh, the doctor was an Indian man.
right.
So some years later, I found myself, I was studying naturopathy and I was in a massage class. And as it turned out, all the young girls, I was older and I was about 30, older. And all the younger girls were quickly matched up and it left me to partner with an Indian man. But, I'm older, I can deal with it.
Right.
I'm tough.
Right.
But we just developed this incredibly really good relationship, and it just completely knocked any prejudice I had against Indian men out of the ballpark, to the
Right.
point that I've had 2 Indian men as, mentors, and I've written
Mm,
a book with another Indian man. So it's like, yeah, that's gone. So
right.
that's how simple no, it does do what it does. So who is it that you just don't understand? Have a chocolate and coffee with them.
It's almost therapeutic, right? It's almost one of those
Mhm.
things to where when people are trying to get better, we have so many different people going to therapy these days. Everybody's talking about doing the work. This is another way to open up your heart and do the work, right?
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
and I'm looking at it from that standpoint. So when people know that they have biases, if they can really be truthful with themselves, and totally understand that, to do this on purpose, right,
Yeah.
is a great thing to where you can break barriers, you can reduce hate, prejudice, you can. It's a lot of different positives that comes from having the coffee break. Now don't go now I'm not saying don't have a coffee break with your friend, with like your best
Oh,
friend.
yeah, of
That's
course.
absolutely right. But to really look at a different perspective and to hear the stories from someone that you're not familiar with is really where this thing is going. So that brings me to my question. How can people get involved? What is joining the audience, joining the website, getting the notifications? What does all of that look like?
Yeah, so there's various ways to get involved. First, you can download a free copy of the book Brewing Compassion, which is a guide to having chocolate and coffee breaks. So that's on the website. Do that, and you will get onto our mailing list then so that you can be notified. Awesome. Um, you can always unsubscribe, so don't panic. I don't send out a whole lot of stuff. And you can go to the Facebook page. There's a Facebook group as well where you can join. So if you go to Chocolate and Coffee Breaks on Facebook, then you can get into the group there, and I will put a new launch out on that so that people can join in. and you can then we'll have some conversations, and you can share how you're going. You can share your experiences when you have invited someone to chocolate and coffee, and also the Brew the Change challenges. We'll have those there, and you can build community doing that. So I'm hoping you'll have a lot of fun with that. Of course, like I said, we'll have some events. We might do some online, some in person, but I'm in Melbourne. So if you're Melbourne, hey, come and see. We'll do something. But hey, we can go international anytime. We have planes.
Well, you know what? You have made me international. My company is Vids Inc., and you are the first Australian customer that I've had. And so I want to thank you for that. But I also want to bring to the forefront that the community that we're building and the community that you already have. I know you have some people that are already engaged. You've talked and delivered speeches for a lot of nonprofits, a lot of associations, things like that. But I can tell people, if you're in business or you're an executive, if you really looking for high engagement for the people that they touch and impact, I promise you, I've looked at 10 years worth of content and some of the things that she's doing. There are sponsorship opportunities right now with Chocolate and Coffee Break. So that's another way. One of the other things that we're going to be moving toward is that, I don't know if you're looking at a logo in the back, but a logo is hot, right? That on some mugs with some messaging. We have merchandise that's going to be coming out as well. And I want to make an announcement right here, right now. If you look on the website, you'll see that Chocolate and Coffee Break is going to be on Roku, Amazon Fire, and then I got something for you, just a little bit right here, and I'm going to play this in 3, 2, take a look at this. Hey, Nolan Davis here, and I just want to make a huge announcement really quick for you guys that's tuning in on this virtual launch that Andrea Pudding with Chocolate and Coffee Break, her show, her podcast that's impacted many people around the world. As she's a speaker and an author, we are now showing it locally right here in Houston. I'm Nolan Davis, and until next time, love to live to love, and be well. Boom. We are playing your show locally here on the Access Station here, and I'm also working on getting it to play in Austin. So we are definitely a international hub here in Houston. We're one of the most diverse cities, so why not play it here? I'll be getting you the schedule. The schedule will be coming out on the website. We'll post it there with the blogs every time we release an episode. But I just want you to realize, not only are we on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon, actually Amazon Prime and Apple podcast. Not only are we on all the social media channels, not only are we on the streaming channels like Roku and Amazon Fire, you will also play locally right here in Houston. So I want to give that up for you right there. That's a good job by having great content and putting it out there. So when I talk about sponsorship opportunities, if you know anything about sponsorship opportunities, it's always best to get in at the ground floor. That's when you get the most bang for your buck. So,
absolutely,
man, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I want to thank you for this work that you've done with me in the only just the last few weeks of getting the show up and ready to distribute, and my websites and all the work that you're doing. But also, I really have to acknowledge and thank an amazing woman who is producer in the US, Tony Kaufman. She has been wonderful and my number one supporter. And she has made all of this possible. She has introduced me to my director, Joe Boy, and an incredible director. And I have to thank him for the amazing work that he does and makes the show so professional and so easy to record. And he just puts it all together. And then Nolan has come along and he's getting it into the world for me. So I have to thank all of you for that, because without you, I'd just be some little show put up on YouTube and hope the best that somebody would actually watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's absolutely been my pleasure. I love to. I believe my purpose is I exist to serve by creating opportunities for people to reveal their greatness, and I live to inspire. The way I live is I want to inspire others. So for me to just reveal your greatness, that's pretty much part of my purpose, and hopefully it felt very purposeful for you as I was doing it. I want to give a couple of shout outs as well. I want to give a shout out to my brother Zay, my partner. I call him Boy Wonder. He and we got together and we knocked it out. I also want to give a shout out to my big brother Avery Hunter. He helps me with all the live streams and some of the video production, and that's pretty much the team that I was pulling on to pull this off in such a fast turnaround. Right. And so we got a couple of different things that we're going to be doing for the next couple of days. But I'll say by Friday, you'll be on Roku and Amazon Fire. And next week, I'll have a schedule of when you're going to be playing, and your show is going to play a couple of times a week. So before we go, I'm just curious, what do you want viewers and your audience to walk away with as they engage in your show, watch this virtual launch, and maybe tune in to any of your episodes?
What I really want them to take away is that they have the power, you have the power to make a difference. Make a difference in the world. If you make that difference to one person, you sit down and have a conversation with somebody, listen to their story, they feel heard, they feel seen. And that changes, it can change them and their perspective and their life, as well as changing you. And that's just going to ripple out. It's just that simple for us to make a difference, is just to listen to somebody, to see them, to hear them. And I just feel like that is what this is all about. And I just want you to know that you are someone of worth. You have something powerful to give to the world, and you can make a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for the people that are watching, if you're watching this live, great. If you're watching the recording, great. Both people that's watching it live, that's watching the recording, I have an ask. I am asking you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you join our mailing list. And I want to take it a step further. If you truly have the heart and see what we're doing here to truly make a change in the world, if you don't like the divisiveness, if you don't like the persnicketiness that's going around, the sarcasm, all of the things, all of the isms that seems like it's breaking down humanity, chocolateandcoffeebreak.com. Share all of the social media and the website with everybody you know. Like literally, I almost want to do some type of contest. Who can share it the most? It'll win a prize. Like I'm just coming up with this right now. This is a totally off the cuff. I don't know if I'm going to say. I can mail you these cufflinks. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure something out.
We'll send you some chocolate.
Right, we'll send you some chocolate. Let's make it easy. I don't know why I got off course. I was just thinking of what I could give. Like I don't have. This is all the chocolate I got in the house, and I'm sipping it right now.
You're going to see my stash.
Right, right. I saw some of the buckets that you have because you have a couple of people that's been donating chocolate. But seriously, it's one thing. A lot of times we see some negativity in the world. We see and we pass it around unconsciously. Right? Did you
Mm.
hear about what happened? Did you see what such and such said? And I hate it when this happens. But then when it comes to some of the heartfelt goodness of the world, you kind of want to keep it to yourself. And that's like your safe space. I want to challenge you to give everybody a safe space, because
Yes.
this can be everyone's safe space right here at Chocolate and Coffee Break. So, all right, I'm done. I know I probably spoke more than this is not even my show. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for the show, right? So we're about to go ahead and close out. You have any last words?
Look, my last word is, well, thank you. Thank you, everyone who has come along and supported me in the journey. And because a lot of people have listened to a lot of my stuff and supported me to keep going and make this happen. And thank you for those who have come along to the launch and who watch the launch later on. Thank you genuinely from my heart. And I always finish with, let love be the loudest voice.
And I always finish with, love to live to love, and be well. So you guys take care. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Boom.